Man, what is good, man? It's your round Pack Boy Dodo checking in with another episode of the Round the Clock Thinker Show, man. And first, I just want to say this. You may wonder, what is Round the Clock Thinkers? What is it all about? What does it mean? You know what I'm saying? So I do want to go into that a little bit before we kick the show off and get on the SHEDEUR Sanders topic. This is not a sports show. This show is going to be strictly comparing a story of adversity and ups and downs to life, and how really the patterns of life and how it works. But first, what is round the clock thinkers? Right? And when I say round the clock thinkers, I mean that we should be meditating all the time, round the clock, because thinking and making sense of life never stops. You know what I'm saying? Something that happened 10 minutes from now, or let me just say something that happened today in your life that you never saw the shit coming, or you never saw it before ever, right? That's round the clock thinking. That's constant meditation. You're in constant processing of life and the ways that it moves and the different scenarios that it'll present to you throughout your life. You know what I'm saying? All the while, round the clock thinking takes time away. In reality, the clock has no hands. You feel me? So round the clock thinking, while taking time out of the proportion, like it's no time. Time's an illusion, and you constantly in processing. And it don't matter that you processed for 10 minutes or 20 minutes or 24 hours. It don't matter, because it doesn't stop until you take your last breath. You know what I'm saying? It's forever going. You know what I'm saying? We take time, age, we take all of that out. None of that matters. Only thing that matters is the constant meditation and processing around the clock with no hands. I hope that's not too deep for you, man. I just wanted to break that down to you. Round the clock thinkers, you know, is constantly adjusting every day, constantly trying to grow, constantly learning something new. Never stop learning, never stop growing, never stop pontificating on something that you don't understand or something that somebody else don't understand. Just continuously growing your mind. You know what I'm saying? Continuously growing yourself, because it don't stop. Man, it's people, OGs that I know and that I hung around 5-10 years ago. Man, I see them on social media, they still doing the same shit. Like OGs that I respect, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're still doing the same shit. They're still growing. They're still hitting the gym. You know, it don't stop. It don't stop. Round the clock thinkers, man. So today we're gonna talk about SHEDEUR Sanders. And when I bring up this name and you see I got the Browns hat on, you may think I'm a fan. Obviously, you're gonna be like, yeah, he a fan. He's a SHEDEUR Sanders fan. And I wouldn't quite say that I'm a fan of SHEDEUR Sanders. I'm a fan of the game. I'm a fan of the game of life. And I'm a fan of the example and demonstration that the story of SHEDEUR Sanders is yielding to you before your eyes on how life moves. You see what I'm saying? So to get my facts straight, I'm pretty sure coming out of college, SHEDEUR, he was supposed to get drafted in the first round, ended up getting drafted in the third round. They tried to basically, from how I'm seeing it, humble him, tried to take his mojo away from him, doing everything that they can to take the courage, confidence, and power away from you, which is the same way life moves. If you go outside and you think that shit's gonna be sweet, you got another thing coming. And his story really demonstrates that, right? So this dude, he gets drafted in like the third round, right? Then he ended up being like third string quarterback, third or fourth string, and he had to work his way up, and he had horrible games, you know what I'm saying? And then he had the times that he was able to get in the game, horrible plays. He was adjusting to the new speed in the new game of the NFL, of being a pro athlete and being surrounded and playing and competing against pro athletes, right? So he reached the next level from college to pro. He's adjusting. He's still adjusting, still learning, right? And then all of this pressure's around him while he's trying to figure out his way. He's trying to find his way. And he has to keep faith within himself and within what he's trying to accomplish. And he got to block out all the critics, all the talk about this, all the talk about that. As a rookie to the the National Football League, the pro league where everybody has an opinion, right? As a quarterback, as a rookie, you got to be able to block all that out, all the controversy. You got to block all that out and find your way and lock in and continue to grow and get better. So let's compare it to life. In life, people are going to have thoughts and opinions about you as you move through life, whether it's at your job, whether it's just when you're out and about, whether it's your social circle, whatever it is. People are going to have opinions about you, good or bad. You can't really get caught up in those opinions. You got to keep moving forward, right? And your progression of growing and getting better for you. Blocking all that out. You know what I'm saying? So boom. SHEDEUR, he finally has a good game, right? He finally has a good game and he remains mellow and humble. Then right after that, if I'm not mistaken, he has another bad game. Now think about what I'm saying, y'all. This is coming from someone who had high hopes of going into the league first round draft pick. And then when he gets into the league, it turns out that he actually goes third round and he's like third or fourth string instead of a starter. Then he has to work his way up until he starts. Now if I'm not mistaken, I'm sure he's starting now. He's the starting quarterback. He had to work his way up, right? The muddy, murky waters that life presents is the exact in my opinion, the exact same way that SHEDEUR Sanders' story it's a perfect example of how dealing with life, you know what I'm saying, you have high hopes, then guess what, when other people get involved, they're gonna try to tear you down. They don't want to see you exceed. They don't want to see you win. They're over there with their horrible opinions about you. They're talking you down. They don't believe in you. You gotta believe in you. You gotta keep going. You gotta block all that shit out and continue your progression, even through the L's, even after taking an L and them being right for a moment. You have to block all that out, skip over all that shit, and keep moving forward in your progression. Because guess what? They're waiting patiently. Even though they're temporarily right in some moments, they're waiting patiently for you to demonstrate inconsistency. And when you demonstrate inconsistency, they're clapping it up, they're celebrating, they're waiting for that. I guarantee you, it's someone who follows SHEDEUR just to see him lose. Check in. Don't even watch the damn games. Check in just to see that he threw a lot of interceptions and he got sacked a lot of times. That's the only reason they check in. To get the feeling of joy from his downfall. Right? His story, it just demonstrates a lot when it comes to any individual life who's trying to grow and become somebody. If you're moving forward in life and you're becoming something, and you're surrounded by opinions and people watching you, some people are watching you to genuinely see you win, of course. They're clapping it up when you win and they genuinely want to see you win. But it's some people that's checking in to see you lose. It's some people that's checking in to see that you have fell off, or you got frustrated, or it's some kind of bad, horrible news, or you got an injury. They're checking in to get that type of information because that type of information brings joy to their soul. That tells you a lot about human behavior. That tells you a lot about how this world moves, how it operates, right? So when you got a SHEDEUR Sanders and you're going through the progressions of growing and keeping a smile and keeping it cool, you know what I'm saying? And going through the motions of the L's is really where you have to be the most coolest. It's easy to be cool when you win. But when you're taking an L, right? It's harder to keep your cool. It's harder to stay cool, calm, and collect when shit's rocky. If you're in a relationship, it's easy to be calm and happy when shit's going good. But when shit's rocky and you gotta have a conversation, you know what I'm saying? And it seems like you two can't come to common grounds and both agree upon a specific topic. It's more difficult to be cool in that specific situation. So the weight of reality hits different when you are under pressure. When the pressure is on, the weight of reality hits different. You feel me? And this young man's story is an inspiration to me, in my opinion. That's why I rock the hat, and people, be out there, be like, oh, you're a Browns fan. No, not necessarily. But I do like the Browns. I like football, right? I like the hat. I watch football. But a lot of people, you can't really break down, okay, look, I'm rocking this hat because this is a representation of a young man who has and still is facing controversy, adversity, you know what I'm saying? Opinions, ups and downs, being misunderstood. You know what I'm saying? His story demonstrates the ebbs and flow of life. And you can just take the name SHEDEUR Sanders out of it. I'm talking about the story. I'm talking about what his story is demonstrating and presenting to the world right before your eyes. More game than you can see. Some people can't see it. All they see is, hey, he's a quarterback that's in the league and he just had a bad game and he just had a good game and he wasn't starting and now he's starting. That's all they see. But they don't see the whole picture of from how he was already set up for failure because of who his dad is. And then the cockiness that he brought to the game and all that he did for football still wasn't appreciated because it's the way of humanity. Somebody gotta hate. You need a hater. Somebody has to dislike what you're doing and say, nah, I don't like it. I don't like it. I think you suck. And you have to understand that and be like, okay, that's fine. I appreciate that. And then be somebody else over here that be like, yeah, I like what you're doing. Man, I appreciate that. Either way, you're neutral because you have to stay focused on progression. If you fuck around and get caught up in this person saying they don't like what you're doing and this person saying that you're right, and you're like, okay, this person saying that they don't like what you're doing, you want to know why? And then this person saying that they like what you're doing, you like getting validation from that. Once you get caught up in validation, it's a wrap. You lose. And eventually you're going to make this person right that don't think shit of you. You're going to make this person wrong that thinks the world of you. You know what I'm saying? So you can see this person over here and be like, you know what? I'm going to adopt what they're thinking. I'm going to adopt how they're seeing me, but I'm not going to get tied up into their validation or whatever. I'm going to get tied up in validating myself. Making sure that I, myself, am continuously progressing towards my next goal, my next milestone. And then what's next, and then what's next, and then what's next. You know what I'm saying? It'll go from you getting drafted in the 3rd round to you actually being on the team. Now you 3rd or 4th string to you starting to you winning the Super Bowl to, you see what I'm saying? Having 2 back-to-back Super Bowls. Right? And even then, you have to still stay neutral. Celebrate the wins, of course, man. They counted me out. You know, I'm here. I'm locked in, man. Hey, praise be to God. Hey, I'm here. It's up. I put in the work. Like, thank you. But then guess what? After that moment of celebration goes by, because you do need to celebrate your wins, tomorrow brings a whole fresh slate to where you gotta focus on moving forward in a forward progression towards your own success. And guess who's still standing over here? The motherfucker that wanted to see you down, wanted to see you lose. Sometimes they convert to someone who want to see you win, but then as soon as you start losing, they convert right back over here and say, I told you so. And then it's rare that you got somebody over here that want to see you win and they stick to that. No matter if you're losing or not, it's rare that it's somebody that's over here and what they call them diehard fans. That's a diehard fan. They're locked in on seeing you win. They want to see you succeed, period. Genuinely. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it's so much in his story, SHEDEUR Sanders' story. And I use his name because, man, mostly everybody who watches this show watch football probably. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't, that's what's up. Just hear what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, in this scenario, SHEDEUR would be the messenger. Don't worry about the messenger. Focus on the message that his story is presenting and demonstrating to us right before our eyes. More game than you can see, you know. And I like to say, look, being humble is extremely important. And it's rare that you have to step outside of being humble. But sometimes you have to toot your own horn. You know what I'm saying? And say, look, I'm the shit, right? Because who else gonna tell you that? Who else is gonna tell you that you rock? If you don't tell you that you rock before you walk outside. Before you walk outside, if you didn't tell yourself in the mirror that you rock, then no one else is going to see it. No one else is going to see that you're the shit if you haven't been moving like you're the shit since you woke up this morning. Getting ready, brushing your teeth, doing everything that you do in the morning, getting your juice ready, getting your coffee ready, whatever it is. Before you go outside, putting on fresh garments, fresh sneakers, making sure your hair fresh, whatever you doing. If you don't move like that before you go outside, no one's gonna see that you're the shit. And it's not about their opinions, it's about the reflection of your opinion of yourself. It's about the reflection from them. You don't get validation from them. You just get confirmation from them that you're the shit because of how you move. Because of what you do before you go outside. The work you put in behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? That's why, I'm quick to say, in my age range, and OGs and told me this all my life, and now I'm at a point where I can really say it and mean it and know it myself too, because a lot of times other people can see shit that you can't see. Now I'm at a point in my life where I can know it myself. Man, in my age range, and this is rare that I do this, no one's fucking with me. when it comes to this game of life, when it comes to the understanding of how to move in this world as a man. You know what I'm saying? The consistency, the honesty, the authenticity, right? The tapping, even when you're losing, the continuous growth. I have to tell myself, no one's fucking with me. I'm 20, 30 years ahead of my time. It's 50, 60-year-olds that could watch the Round the Clock Thinker Show and hear some shit that they never heard before. You see what I'm saying? It goes back to SHEDEUR Sanders' story. The presentation, the overall up and down flow that you see is a great representation of how life moves, and how he moved is a great representation of the belief that you have to have in yourself. So shout out to SHEDEUR Sanders, man. Shout out to the Cleveland Browns. Shout out to Deion Sanders. But overall, this wasn't a sports show. This was a show tapping into the demonstration of a young man's story in relation to the ebbs and flow of life, of everyday life, and how all of us can benefit from that story. All of us can relate to that story in some way or another. You know what I'm saying? So it's your Ron Pat Boy Dolo, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Drop a comment if you feel like it. Free consultation still at packboydolo staff@gmail.com. Treeway Winterwear collection. Link is in the description. But this was a show that I really just wanted to get off real quick, because it was just, once again, I was round the clock thinking. I was meditating on it. I had saw something about him. And then I've been, keeping up with his story too, since before he came into the league, since college, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, wow, this dude's story and the ups and downs of how it's moving is so deep. It's so deep and relatable to me. And I know if I can relate to it, then y'all can. Man, it's your Ron Pack Boy Dolo. Checking out. Peace.